Hello everyone. Uh, Today I'll be discussing in detail about the Border Gateway Protocol. In the last class we had discussed about the open shortest path first, and also the introduction was given to the Border Gateway Protocol, which is said to be in short BGP4 version 4. It is an inter-domain routing protocol which we had discussed. It is based on path vector routing algorithm, and we had taken an example which will be taken throughout the Border Gateway Protocol explanation, where there is an internet which consists of four autonomous system 1 2 3 4. And here data exchange between all AS2, AS3, AS4 should pass through this AS1. The three outer autonomous systems are the stub, and the inner one is said to be the transient. Here each router in the autonomous system knows how to reach the network in its own autonomous system. But to reach a network that is outside the autonomous system, we need to have something called as external BGP on each border router. This should be installed, which is said to be eBGP, and the internal BGP on all the routers. So the border routers will run 3 protocols and the other routers run 2 protocols. That is also we had discussed. Then about the eBGP operation also it was discussed. eBGP is an external border gateway protocol. It allows two physically connected border routers in two different autonomous systems to form pairs of eBGP by creating a TCP connection. So, a simplified update messages sent by routers involved in the eBGP sessions. Here there are message numbers written. There are 6 messages which are mentioned here. Message number 1 is sent by the router R1 and tells the router R5 that N1, N2, N3, N4 can be reached through router R1. So router R5 adds this information at the end of its forwarding table. And also when R5 receives any packet which has destined for these N1, N2, N3, N4, it can find in its forwarding table that the next router is R1. This is what the eBGP operation. And also we had seen about IBGP, which is an internal border gateway protocol, which is similar to the eBGP. It creates a session between any possible pair of router inside the autonomous system. It is internal one. In this stage only 4 messages are exchanged. That is, first is sent by R1 announcing that the networks N8 and N9 are reachable through the path AS1, AS2, and the next router is R1. Similar way, other messages tells about R2, R6, and also R4, R9. So you can see these 4 messages here with respect to R1, R4, R2, and R6. Next we have the next topic is related to the finalized BGP path tables. So here consider the path table for R1. The path tables are shown here, R1, R2 and R3. So here what happens is, consider the path table now for R1. After R1 receives the update message from R2, it combines the reachability information about AS3 with the reachability information it already knows about AS1 and sends a new update message to R5. Now R5 knows how to reach a network in AS1 and also in AS3. That is the first one. So it is like after R1 receives a message from R2, it combines that information with the information about AS3 with the already information which knows about AS1 and sends update message to R5. As a result, the AS3, AS1, AS2 are now connected. Next is similarly R4. Similarly, what happened? One more is router R1 now knows that any packet which is destined for the networks N8 or N9, which is in AS2, should go through AS1 and AS2, and next router to deliver the packet is router R5. Similarly, R4 knows that any packet destined for the networks 10, 11, 12 should go through AS1 and AS3, and the next router to deliver this packet is router R1. So this is about the path tables. So you can see here which are the next routers by connecting which autonomous systems get connected. Here you can see about R5, here also R2, here also R4. With respect to the path table R2, it is R1, similarly 10, 11, 12 by R6, and 13, 14, 15 by R1. This is what we had seen, which connects AS1 and AS4 together. Similarly for R3, it is N8 and N9 by R2. Similarly N10, N11, N12 by R2, and N13, 14, 15 by R4. And wherever a path table is written, those next routers should be the routers which are nearby or which are the immediate neighbors to that router. For example, when we write a path table to R1, the other routers that we consider should be R5, R2, R4. Whenever we write a path table to R2, the next router to be considered are R1, R6 and R3. And whenever we write a path table to R3, next router to be considered are R2, R4. That is how it is shown. So using those which are the autonomous system that can be connected, the updating process continues. Then each router combines the information received from eBGP and iBGP and creates a path table after applying the criteria for finding the best path. So next we'll see about this is also the path tables for R5, R4, R5, R6 and also the path tables for R7, R8 and R9. That is how the path tables are constructed. Next is about the forwarding table after injection from the border gateway protocol. So that is the path tables collected by the border gateway protocol are injected into the intra-domain forwarding table for routing the packets. So those information is injected into the intra-domain protocols for routing the packets. Thus, the border gateway protocol is used to help the routers inside the autonomous system to augment their routing information. In the case of a stub autonomous system, only area border router adds the default entry at the end of the forwarding table and defines the next router to be the speaker router. R5 in AS2 defines R1 as the default router for all the network other than N8 and N9. Similarly, for the router R9 in AS4, default router be R4. In AS3, R6 sets as a default router to be R2. R7 and R8 set their default router to be R6. This is about the default router. Path tables are injected into the intra-domain by adding only one default entry. And the cost is taken from the intra-domain forwarding tables. Here assume all the autonomous systems are using routing information protocol as the intra-domain routing protocol. So this is about the path tables. You can see the destinations, the next router and the cost. So the destination whenever it is N1 with respect to the forwarding table. For the R1, N1 is 1, cost is 1. For N4, the cost is, you can see network N4 here. The cost is 2 here because it has to go from R1 to R4. So cost is 2, 2 networks. Next to N8, you can see N8 here. So R1, once again, it has to go from R1 to R5. There is only one router. You can see that it is 1. Next N9 also it is 1. And N10 you can see it in the autonomous system 3. And here it is N10. It is through R2. Next is R2 is the router and the cost is 2. Similarly 11, 12 is also 2. 13, 14, 15 is also 2. That is how the cost is written. Table for R2 also you can see. With respect to the table for R2, for N1 it is 1 and for N4 here it is 2 through R3. Next we have N8 and 9, it is 2 through R1, then R5. 10, 11, 12, it is through R6, it is 1. Next 13, 14, 15, it is through R3, it is 3. Okay, that is how the tables are updated. Similarly for the other. These are the tables. Next we'll see about the format of path attributes. So in both intra-domain routing protocols, that is routing information or open shortest path first, the destination is associated with two pieces of information, that is the next hop and the cost. Next hop is address of the next router to deliver the packet, and cost gives the cost to the final destination. That is what we have seen. Now in the interdomain, these are called as path attributes. The border gateway protocol allows the destination to be associated with up to 7 path attributes. The path attributes are divided into well-known and optional attributes. Well-known are recognized by all the routers and the optionals need not be recognized. Well-known can be mandatory. It must be present in any border gateway protocol update message, or discretionary, which means it does not have to be present. Now, an optional attribute can be either transitive, which means it can pass to next autonomous system, or intransitive, which means it cannot. The format is shown here. There is optional bit, partial bit, transitive bit, and the extended bit. So optional bit set if the attribute is optional, partial bit is set if an optional attribute is lost in transit, transitive bit is set if the attribute is transitive, extended bit is set if the attribute length is 2 bytes. Now next we'll see about the different attribute types. Origin, which is a type 1. We have type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4, type 5. These are the different types of the path attributes. First is the origin, which is a type 1, which is said to be a well-known mandatory attributes, which defines the source. As the name tells, origin, this defines the source of the routing information. This attributes can be defined by 3 values, 1, 2, 3. Like 1, it tells the information about the path has been taken, and 2, information come from the border gateway protocol, and the 3, it comes from the unknown source. Next, second one is said to be autonomous system path, which is a type 2 attribute. This defines the list of autonomous system through which the destination can be reached. This can be used in the route selection. Next, we have the next hop, which is a type 3. This defines the next router to which the data packet should be forwarded. This helps to inject the path information collected through the operation of eBGP and iBGP into the intra-domain routing protocol. Next is multi-exit disk. It is a type 4. This discriminates among multiple exit paths to a destination. If router has multiple paths to the destination with the different values related to these attributes, the one with the lowest value is selected. Local pref, it is type 5. It is set by the administrator based on the organization policy. The router, the administrator prefers are given a high local preference. Next is about the atomic aggregate. This defines the destination prefix as not aggregate. It only defines a single destination. Aggregator emphasizes that destination prefix is an aggregate. Attribute value we have. Attribute value gives the number of the last autonomous system that did the aggregation, followed by the IP address of the router. So this is about the format. Next we have about the flow diagram. So here it is a flow diagram for the route selection. When there are multiple routes to the destination, border gateway protocol needs to select any one among them. So in the route selection process here, the border gateway protocol is not as easy ones in the intra-domain routing protocol, which is based on the shortest path tree. Here, the router extracts the routes which meets the criteria in each step. If only one route is extracted, it is selected and the process stops. If there are multiple routes found, process continues with the next step. Always the first choice is through the local preference attribute, which reflects the policy imposed by the administrator on the route for which a higher priority given. So it is a type 5 attribute. So here the administrator prefers this one and gives a high local preference value, finds the routes with a high local preference value. If there are multiple paths found, find the routes with the lowest multi-exit disk. Here, if router has multiple paths, the one with the lowest value is selected. Next one, if there are multiple paths found, find routes with the shortest AS path. So here, this can be used in the route selection once again. Next we have, if multiple path, find the routes with the least cost next hop. Even here, this defines the next router to which the data packet should be forwarded. Next, if there are multiple paths, any external route. Find the external route with the lowest BGP identifier. For all internal routers, find the internal route with the lowest BGP identifier. This is about the route selection. Next, we have about the border gateway protocol messages. So here there are actually 4 different types of messages. Type 1, these messages, border gateway protocol uses 4 types for the communication between the border gateway speaker across the autonomous system and inside the autonomous system. So there are 4 types. Same common header will be used: open, update, keep alive and notification. Open message, first type 1, to create a neighborhood relationship among the routers running the border gateway protocol. It opens a TCP connection with the neighbors and also it sends a TCP message. So it is said to be open. Next is the second, type 2 is update. It is used by the router to withdraw the destination that have been advertised previously and updates it, and to announce a route to a new destination. Next is notification. This is sent by the router when there are like error condition is detected, a router wants to close the session, any notice to be sent. Next is keep alive. Border gateway protocol peers that are running exchange keep alive messages regularly to tell each other that they are alive. So this is a keep alive message. So this is about the border gateway protocol messages. So this ends the module 4, where The first half of the module 4 was concentrating on the network layer protocols, where we had discussed about the internet protocol, ICMPv4 protocol, and also we had discussed about mobile IP. Then the second half of the module 4 concentrates on unicast routing protocols. So in that we had seen about first, the three algorithms were discussed: distance vector, Dijkstra, and path vector. Based on that, there are three protocols which were discussed: routing information, open shortest path first, and the border gateway protocol. So, when you are studying these protocols, remember the example of a internet or a network, and then explain the concepts. So you have to know about the types of the messages, implementation, format of the path attributes, and what are the operations with respect to IBGP and EBGP in forwarding a packet. What is the route selection flow diagram? This is everything related to the border gateway protocol. And also you should be knowing with respect to the open shortest path first, the operation, how it works, and also about the different types. So this is all about module 4. In the next class we'll start with the module 5, which is related to the transport layer. We'll be studying about introduction to the transport layer, and also the transport layer protocols, UDP, and also TCP will be discussed in detail with respect to the error control, flow control, congestion control, all this. Thank you.